everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new, my name is Elle Ramaila, and on this channel it's all about learning, growth and contribution. I've been reading this book by my favorite pastor. I don't want to say my favorite because I have too many favorite pastors, but at this point in time, Tori Roberts did something with this book. It's called Balance. I don't know if you guys can see it over there, but there's a chapter in this book. I don't want to even talk too much about the chapter in the book so that you guys can get it for yourself, but this book has already changed my life, is in the process of changing my life, will change my life, has changed my life. So many things and lessons that I'm learning from this book. But this chapter called The Power of No has made me think about my life in corporate. As you all know, this channel is based on my corporate struggles or the lessons that I've learned, and I think I'm this one person that really struggles to say no sometimes. And so the topic of this video is called Uncomfortable Office Conversations, and basically I wanted to just break them down because I know I'm still in the process of discovering what is the best way to have an uncomfortable conversation. And it's inevitable, guys. I don't want to lie to you and tell you that if you've never had it, it's coming. The time is coming when you're going to have this conversation that you don't even know how to deal with it or how to even have it, or should I be having it? There's so many questions that are going to come into your mind when you start having uncomfortable conversations. But I thought in this video I can break them down into what are these uncomfortable conversations, why are they even uncomfortable conversations, where to have them, who to have them with, and also how to have them. So essentially, if I had to just say what these uncomfortable conversations are, have you ever been in an office setting and felt the need to want to give somebody unsolicited feedback? You just want to tell them, my guy, wambora, or you are just annoying me, or somebody just said something that rubbed you off the wrong way and you really want to address it, but you don't know how to address it. Or maybe you might be even wanting to apply for a promotion, but you don't know where to start. Or it could be a situation where you want to tell somebody, it might not be unsolicited feedback, but just rather they asking you for feedback, and you don't know if it's a trick question, because if you really had to tell them what you think of them, it's going to shake. But those conversations are very uncomfortable and you can't avoid them. Like I said, they are coming, right? And I feel why they actually happen is because corporate is just a room where there are different cultures that are coming into the same room. There are different people that have different value systems or different belief systems that they were raised with. So that also plays a role in how they behave or act in a space, right? And I mean, you at work, 8 hours of the time, or 8 hours in your day if you like it, or it can be 10, it can be 15, it can be 25, who knows? I'm not counting. But in the general sense, you're there for 8 hours. So you're in this room where there's different people that have different ways of communicating, and to have these conversations I think also helps you with your own personal growth and also how to communicate your point across. I think corporate also has a language that you need to learn how to adapt to that language, or how to articulate yourself in that corporate setting. So knowing and equipping yourself to having these conversations is going to help you understand that a part of having these conversations is also necessary for your growth. It's necessary for you to learn about different people, not just you and your clan and the people that sound like you or look like you, but you also need to know to talk to people that don't look like you, man. This thing is not something that you're going to be seeing often in the office. You yourself, when you look in the mirror, it's not just you in there. There's other people there, and so it's important that you address them the way they would like to be addressed. Now that brings us to my next point as to where to have these conversations. Now I don't know if it's just a new age thing, but people don't know how to read the room, man. Hey, I don't know, maybe it's just the experiences that I've had. Again, disclaimer, this is my channel, I'm giving you guys my experiences. The way of having these uncomfortable conversations is so important. You can't be having uncomfortable conversations among the people, with the people, for the people. You need to do it privately at a place where people are not spitting speculating. Like, you need to move and know, should I like talk to this person like outside the audit room or outside this open office space, maybe in the corridor where nobody is watching us, you know what I mean? But the environment where you are going to be having these conversations is so important. Now again, that brings me to my next point of who to have these conversations with. Again, the who is actually driven by what this uncomfortable conversation is. If, for example, I'm going to be having this need of having or giving unsolicited feedback to someone, right? It's fine that you talk to your friend or like somebody that you trust to like have a play on words just to see how this thing might come across to the next person and just discuss, how do you think I should approach this person? You know, it's okay to do that. But to have a caucus meeting about this person is not going to help. You know what I mean? So you need to address it to that person who you need to be giving the feedback to. I mean, it's difficult. It might be a person that is your senior or your manager or your partner or your superior. I don't know. It might be somebody that is really in a position that you've already deemed esteemed. So already that has created some sort of tension, resistance, anxiety with having this conversation. But I mean, you need to address the conversation with the right person, not going and telling everybody else but the person. If you're wanting a promotion, to talk to 10 million people that are not even on your own life purpose or know your values or know what God has spoken into your life, to discuss it first with them as opposed to discussing it with your coach or your HR personnel or whoever's in charge of promotions is also not warranted. Because I mean, who are you entrusting your visions with if you're going to be telling literally everyone but the right people? And that brings me to literally my last point as to how to have these uncomfortable conversations. Now guys, disclaimer. I think this video is going to be called Disclaimer. This is how I have navigated having uncomfortable conversations. Like, I'm somebody that prides myself in understanding people, right? And a part of how to have these conversations is knowing to read the room, right? How you address someone is very important in the context of where you are addressing them. If somebody is like really stressed, right, and they are mid-deadline and you want to tell them that you potentially didn't like how they spoke to you the other day, when they are in the audit room at 9 p.m., do you think is the right time to tell them? Nah, I'm just thinking out loud that, guys, you also need to look at where am I having this conversation. So that addresses the how I'm having this conversation. If maybe we at like a team lunch, or maybe we are getting lunch downstairs at the office, or maybe we are like literally at a work function, potentially bringing that up right then when this person is in a great mood is not a bad time to have the conversation. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have the conversation at all. I'm just talking about the timing and the environment of having the conversation. Another thing is knowing who the other person is and knowing what they prefer and what they don't prefer. Some people, I want to say this correctly, and I feel like my mother tongue knows how to address this, but because I respect that my channel is diverse, I'm going to keep it English-wise. So I am saying that you need to know what type of person you are dealing with. Some people don't like these conversations, like one-on-ones, you know. Some people prefer phone calls. Some people love emails. Some people prefer WhatsApp. I don't know. Instagram, LinkedIn, I don't know. You just need to know who this person you're addressing prefers. So knowing that when you're having this conversation, one blanket approach is not going to work for everyone. You need to ask yourself, this person, do they prefer me calling them or talking to them face to face in the office? I need to know who I'm dealing with so that my message comes across. And again, having uncomfortable conversations always has to be clear as to what you are trying to achieve from this conversation. There's no use in wanting to tell somebody that they made you mad, but at the end of it, there's no resolve as to say, okay, please don't do it again, or next time if you have an issue, just let me know firsthand so that it doesn't happen again. And I mean, I really believe in addressing people in a way that comes from a place of compassion, and also asking yourself, if I was on the receiving end, if I was somebody that was mistreating somebody, or if there was somebody that was really yearning for a promotion or really yearning to hear well done, you've been doing great, how would I want to be addressed? So I always come from that empathetic way of saying, okay, if I was hearing this conversation, how would I want it to be addressed to me? So always show respect when you are having these uncomfortable conversations. The biggest thing is your tone is like, I've said a lot of things that are important in this video, but if you're going to be leaving with anything, your tone when you're having these uncomfortable conversations. Guys, it's a professional setting. It's corporate. You know what I mean? Like, people wear their titles on their back and on their forehead. Like, they want to be addressed with decorum, you know? So they want to be respected. So you can't just get there and be mad. I don't like how you said X, Y, Z, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, your tone must always be like calm, must be neutral. You must understand that your colleagues or whoever you're going to be speaking to is not your friend. It's not somebody that you would be talking to like on a random Saturday. You know, we're only talking because we're meant to be in the same space for 8 hours based on work. But other than that, I respect you enough to tell you this is how I feel, but do it in such a way that is calm, that is neutral, that has a clear objective as to what I want to achieve at the end of this conversation. But again, take it from me, guys. I've had a lot of uncomfortable conversations. I'm still having uncomfortable conversations, and it's still a learning process where I am reading my environment, I'm reading my room, I'm asking myself the questions, do I feel like it's necessary to even have these conversations? Sometimes people are just having a bad day. Sometimes people are not the happiest, you know, like corporate is not an easy job, and we forget that we are individuals outside the office space, and that there's things that we potentially are carrying from outside the office, family related, economics. Guys, the country is in shambles. You know what I mean? Like, the murder rate is wild. The fact that load shedding has us by the neck is not nice. Like, having to drive to an office setting where you could be in a hybrid type of environment because of load shedding might just put me in a bad mood. And when I get there, it's unfortunate, but somebody might just get like a funny look, you know, not like a bad thing, but a funny look, and somebody might just take it so personally. But offense must be the last thing on your mind, especially in corporate. Otherwise, you're gonna go crazy. Like, you're not gonna survive. It's not going to work. Change your profession. Do something else. Go and be a YouTuber like me and do both. Like, offense must be literally the last thing on your mind, and only when it's warranted. But I hope this video can actually encourage you to have these uncomfortable conversations in a way that's going to be constructive, in a way that's going to empower you, in a way that's going to make you feel good at the end of that conversation, and in a way that's going to look at yourself and be proud of yourself for actually participating and engaging in that conversation, no matter how uncomfortable it was, because you are growing as an individual. You are learning about yourself, you are learning the language of corporate. And I do hope that you go out there and you conquer, and that you be the best individual that you can be. But otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to share it, don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And to all my Korean lovers, I've been watching a lot of K-drama. This is how I want my outro to be. Fighting. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.